Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited. As it's late, but we're going to be here talking about AEW Dynasty. Now, if I'm going to be completely honest about this show, I didn't think it was a bad show, but I didn't think it was a great show. I thought the show was good. I enjoyed things, but then there were other things that I did not like, I was bored with, and just didn't care about. And I'm going to say right now, good thing I have notes, because I can't remember a single thing that happened in that World Tag Title match. In that Hurt Syndicate versus Learning Tree match, I literally, off the top of my head, can't remember a single thing other than I know the match happened. But other than that, I couldn't even tell you who pinned who. I barely remember the opener. The Will Osprey Kevin Knight match. That's how long this show was. Now I remember the stuff from the pre-show as far as with Alex Bowens and Max Caster, because that was cool. Bowens got a cool, great, big pop for his return. He was technically kinda, if you want to say so, wearing some Power Rangers inspired gear, because he was technically wearing the Green Ranger's big, shield cross crest thing, whatever you want to call it, that Tommy wore, Green and White Ranger. But it was kind of similar to that, is what it was supposed to be. But it's like, this show was so damn long that the first couple of matches and stuff, I don't even remember what happened. Like, again, glad I got notes, because I couldn't tell you off my dome what happened in these matches. And that's bad. That's really bad. And then the way the show ended, I'll tell you right now, that triple threat, Kenny Omega, Ricochet, Mike Bailey, oh my God, was that match amazing. Oh my God, was that match so much fun. Oh my God, was that incredible. From a bunch of different standpoints, just from the action in the ring, the story they actually told. This match in AEW actually had a match-long story. As far as, like, the Mike Bailey knee issues throughout the match, and, Ricochet being super cocky, the whole, Kenny Omega is still not 100% technically, and all the great match. I thought that was the match of the night. I don't think anybody would argue me that triple threat was match of the night, and probably, in my opinion, the best AEW match I've seen all year. Now, there's other matches you could probably argue of that, but for me, and in my opinion, probably my favorite AEW match of the year. But with all of that, we got a bunch to talk about. We've got, 8 matches to talk about. I ain't talking about any of the pre-show. Again, I didn't really see the pre-show. I did see the Max Caster, Anthony Bowens thing, but it's like, whatever. But also going to, okay, it already happened. I'm going to pull up the Wikipedia as well, because I don't have times, and I want to see the times for these matches. AEW Dynasty. So as far as like the pre-show, also after the show, if you guys haven't seen, we got a video up of it. Swerve talked to the crowd, talked about representation, and said, fuck Booker T. If you guys haven't seen that video, we do have it up right now, right here on the PWU Unlimited YouTube channel. But as far as the pre-show does go, we had an 11-minute match and a 40-second match. Before we get into talking everything, I got to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you'll help us out over on YouTube. You can help us out over there by hitting that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. As a channel member, you get a bunch of cool things like emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat. You get access to our graphics packages, which are Dynasty graphics package. I will put up either tomorrow or Tuesday for tier 2 members. You get access to our Q&As, I should be doing a Q&A this week, and other videos we're going to start putting up there as well. Also, remember, if you want to comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Also, depending on how long this goes, and when I finish the recap, we may or may not open the phone lines. I'm contemplating it. I'm not sure yet. Depends on how long this goes. It's already 12:30 Central Time. So it's already late. It's 1:30 a.m. East Coast time. So we'll play it by ear. We might take your calls. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Remember, Epic still has their spring sale going on till the 9th, so jump in there and get a bunch of cool things. I think they got like Hogwarts Legacy is 75% off. God of War Ragnarok is 20% off. Madden NFL 25 is 80% off. So go over there, check that out, and get some free or get some discounted stuff, but also claim the free games. Right now, Cat Quest 2, a really fun game, is free right now. Oh, no way. Did that say what I think it did? River City Girls, free next week. Oh, that's a good game. That's a fun game. But with all of that, over to the game store and use our code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. As far as this show does go, we're going to start by talking the first match on the main card, which was a opening round match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, or Owen Hart Cup Foundation, however they say. How do they say it? Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournament deal? I don't even know. Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Do they call it cup anymore? Hold on. Do they even call it cup anymore? I know they did at one point. Owen Cup. See, what do they call it now? They call it the... What's the graphics say? They don't say cup anymore. Just the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Did they ever say cup? Chat, let me know. Did they ever say cup, or did us as fans and podcasters and whatever's just add that to it? The Owen Cup. I'm looking at the graphic here for this year, and it doesn't say cup anywhere. It just says the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. Interesting. Anyways. Before we get into that, we got some bit donations from Esports Gaming Rules I want to read really fast. He says, has Tony Khan lost his mind? Using a storyline like the Death Rider storyline is milked just to maybe for Darby Allin to climb a mountain like Mount Everest and become a hero. Get a shot at the World Championship to face Mox. Well, here's the thing. Darby ain't getting the shot at all in, because that's what you're saying. A future AEW PPV, so whenever he wins, the men's Owen will lose. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. My thing here is I think the biggest story AEW has right now, and screw Darby. Darby ain't the one. No. It's not going to be Darby. I think the biggest story they have right now is going into their biggest show of the year, All In. Mox should still be champion, and the story is, can whoever wins the Owen dethrone him on the biggest stage of the year? And they do. I think that's where Moxley should drop the belt, at All In. Make it. And I hate to say this because I hate when things are super predictable, and that was one of the reasons I did not really care for the show. But make it super predictable. Make it to where we know Mox is dropping that belt, but he's dropping that belt, and they're making... It's got to be Osprey now. Because I would say if Swerve won tonight, then you have Hangman win the Owen, and then you Hangman and Swerve in the main event of All In. But now that Moxley won, granted, you could still do Swerve again. Swerve can show up as the wild card. I do think the wild card is probably going to end up being Josh Alexander, but if it's not Swerve as the wild card going through and winning and getting a shot again, then it's probably Will Ospreay. And you crown Will Ospreay at All In as your crowning savior. Yes, he's not a original. So the storyline of the Death Riders kind of thing, I've been here since the beginning and no one's been as good as me, and all these people are getting lazy because of what, It would be better if it was an original. But Will Ospreay still works. So that's my whole thing. He says, I saw that too. Vlad Jr. signed a 15-year deal. A big new deal with the Blue Jays. Yes, Vlad Jr. And at first, I just saw it said Vladimir Guerrero, and I'm like, Vladimir Guerrero, I'm still playing baseball. Fucking 50 years old. And then I saw it said Vlad Jr. I was like, oh. Because I was like, they bring Vlad out of retirement? But then I saw it said Vlad Jr. Congratulations on him, though. 15-year deal with the Blue Jays. Holy shit. He also says, who do you think should main event All In Texas? Omega versus Okada, Monet versus Athena, neither. World title shot. It's going to be the world title match. Tony Khan has always been steadfast, unless like there is just some over resounding, it's got to go on last. World title is your true real main event. That's Tony Khan's thinking since day one. It says, you think AEW and Max will start to do AEW pay-per-views all in Texas because AEW pay-per-view started on Amazon Prime Video? I have no clue. Nobody knows. All they keep saying is AEW pay-per-views are coming to Max later this year. AEW pay-per-views are coming to Max later this year. Messi, I've not seen or heard anything about Britt Baker, so I don't think that's true. She was congratulating Adam Cole on his TNT title win tonight on Twitter, so I doubt she was released. Also, guys, remember, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to get, or Twitch, and you want to get your comment, questions, or concern read live on the air, you can do so on YouTube with the super chat, or just like esports gaming rules on Twitch with a bit donation. As far as this match does go, the first match of the night on the main card, Will Osprey versus Kevin Knight. The match itself went, how long did this match go? 13, almost 14 minutes. So 13 minutes and 50 seconds. So this match was okay. I didn't think it was anything special. We had Jim Ross and Taz on commentary with Excalibur. Was this the only match Jim Ross called? Because I don't remember Jim Ross being out there for anything else. I don't think he was there for the main event. Pretty sure that was Taz, Excalibur, and Shivani. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I was just so bored and out of that main event that I didn't pay attention to commentary, but correct me. Let me know. Who was on commentary for the main event? And did Jim Ross only do this one match? Because I'm pretty sure that was it. Where was I? Knight got a strong reaction. His commentary tried to put him over, as they've been doing for the last week or so, really trying to put him over. They state that Knight and Nick Wayne will be representing AEW in the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. And I'm just like, okay, cool. This guy just came from New Japan. So him being in a New Japan tournament doesn't really be like, oh my God, cool. AEW guy's going over there. Nick Wayne going and doing it. That's awesome. But Kevin Knight, I'm just like, oh, he just came from New Japan. Cool. He's just going to go. He signs with AEW, but he's still working New Japan and whatever. Like, it's not that big of a deal when he just came from there. Was he in the tournament last year? I believe so. Best of the Super Juniors 2024. Who was in it last year? We go here, 2024. Is this 2024? 23, 24. He was in it last year. Got 8 points. Finished towards the bottom of his bracket, block, whatever you want to say. He was in the last 2 years. He was in the last 2 years of the Super Juniors. So it's just like, okay, what's the big deal? He was in the last 2 years. He just came from New Japan. Whoopee! Anyways. Knight got the first takedown of the match, followed by a corner splash and a sliding lariat for an early 2. Osprey draped Knight on the top rope, booted him to the floor, and followed this with a slingshot crossbody on Osprey, and then he bowed to the Owen Trophy. Back inside the ring, there's a pip-pip cheerio that connected as Osprey fired off loud chops. Knight answered with one of his own, so Osprey sank in an abdominal stretch. Knight then escaped, ramped up a series of clotheslines, and a UFO splash for a 2. Just a nog and a corkscrew kick, and some other responses from Will Osprey, who had Knight's handprint now on his chest from some hard chops. At one point, there were dueling chants for both men after a Spanish fly double down. They exchanged chops and forearms as each maintained wrist control throughout until Osprey buckled. Osprey tried a wall walk, but Knight met him with a drop kick. Hurricane Rana out of the corner, sending Osprey to the outside. I will say this, Kevin Knight's got some freaking hops. This man can jump from just a standing, just a boom, freaking Mario super jump. After bailing to the outside, Osprey thought he was clear, but Knight flew over the top rope with a dive, or over the post with a dive. Back inside the ring, Osprey hung up Knight in the ropes, tried a sunset bomb to the floor, but Knight held on. Osprey looked for a styles clash, only for Knight to come into the corner with a spike DDT onto the ramp. When there was a flush hook kick from Osprey, but Knight hit an anti-air drop kick off of an Oscutter attempt. Knight then went up top and hit a massive UFO splash for a near fall. Knight went for a springboard lariat, but Osprey caught him with the cutter in midair. Knight then again, though, avoided an Oscutter, but Osprey managed to hit a Styles Clash and get a 2 off of it. Osprey then hit another Oscutter, and this was a huge Oscutter. He looked like he went like halfway, 3/4 across the ring with this one. He flew. Especially, it was probably because of the way the camera angle we had made it look bigger and better than it was. Anyways, flush, but, well, he kicks out again. Kevin Knight, that is. Finally, Osprey then connects with a hidden blade, demolishes Kevin Knight, and finally gets that pin. 1, 2, 3. Pretty good, fun match. And it was just that, a pretty good, fun match. Nothing, if I'm going to say, nothing super special. These guys worked well together, but it's like for someone like me who doesn't really know Kevin Knight, I only really started seeing Kevin Knight matches this year. Him and Kushida were tag champions, and I saw their tag title match was it the ladder match at Wrestle Kingdom, and I was like, oh, this guy's kind of good. He's teaming with Kushida. Oh, they dropped the titles. Then I hear he's coming to AEW, and I'm like, okay, interesting. And they're like trying to put him over really big. Now, granted, this was supposed to be Will Ospreay and Switchblade, but Switchblade is out with a broken hand. So he had to get pulled from the tournament. This was supposed to be a completely different match. Overall, I thought it worked. Good opener. Got the crowd going. Then a match that I and nobody else really cared about that was just all right at best. AEW World Tag Titles on the line. Hurt Syndicate. There's Big Bill and Brian Keith. Like I said, this match happened 6.5 hours ago, 6 hours ago. I can't remember a single thing that happened in this match. I can't think of a single thing. Glad I have notes. It went 11 minutes. Keith wasted no time tagging Bill when he saw Lashley was starting, as Bill was backed up into the wrong corner, but fought his way out. Bill hit 2 clotheslines, sending Lashley and Benjamin to the floor to regroup early, causing MVP to leave commentary to tend to his team. Benjamin was able to cut off Bill, coming back in the ring, allowing Lashley to drive repeated shoulders into the corner. Bill avoided a German, backing Benjamin back into his corner, allowing Keith to make the tag, but foolishly started a slugfest. Benjamin immediately mowed him down with a clothesline, as fast tags kept Keith isolated on the Hurt Syndicate side of the ring. Benjamin sent Keith crashing from the barricade to the ring at one point. There's a locomotion, corner splashes, and a big boot to Lashley from Bill after he got tagged in and got a hot tag. Benjamin then hit a big German suplex, though. Bill started no-selling Benjamin's strikes and hit a black hole slam that got a 2 for it. Bill wanted a choke slam, and commentary is really putting up big. Big Bill's got a great choke slam. Big Bill's got a devastating choke slam, and Benjamin just rolls through it and hits the thrust kick. Benjamin charged right into a big boot as Keith tagged in, but was blindsided by Lashley, who followed with a flatliner on Bill. Counter from a suplex into Snake Eyes from Bill sent Lashley to the outside as the big man brawled on the floor. All of a sudden, someone stands up on the other side of the barricade, the crowd side, grabs Big Bill, turns him around, it's MJF, and he pops him in the face with the ring. Dynamite diamond ring. Big Bill goes down, and Lashley's like, what the fuck was that? What the hell was that? He looks at Shelton, and they're like, oh, okay. But they weren't happy about it. And MVP's on commentary going, oh, I guess MJF went into... this is the only thing I remember, where MVP was on commentary going, well, I didn't know this was going to happen. I guess MJF went into business for himself. That's the only thing I remember from this match is MVP saying that like 3 times. Don't blame me. I didn't know he was coming out here. Don't blame me. MJF went into business for himself. With Keith alone in the ring, he was dropped with the German. Huge spear from Bobby and pinned by Shelton. 1, 2, 3. Hurt Syndicate retained the titles. So yeah, that was it. They won because they got help from MVP when they didn't even need fucking help. MVP, MJF, just the fucking 3 initials that both start with the M. They got help from MJF. They didn't even need anyways. So, cool. Whatever. Then we had our first match in the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament. This one saw Mercedes Moné taking on Julia Hart in a 13-minute match. Another match that I barely even remember happened. Again, Thank you for notes. Thank you for having notes. And I'm going to say this was a collision match at best. I wouldn't even call this a dynamite match. This match was, they had a match. I didn't think it was particularly any good. Julia Hart got a great entrance. It's just a great vibe and presentation about her and her character. Mercedes got pyro. Cool. So Hart used her athleticism early on to avoid some Monet offense. A head scissors sent Monet into the corner. Harley Cameron was watching backstage. She had her mini Monet with her. As back in the ring, Hart rolled through a lung blower and countered Monet Maker into a black slide for a 2. Monet fired off some chops, tried to scale the ropes. Excuse me. Give me one quick second here. Oh, anyways. Where was I? Monet fired off some chops, tried to scale the ropes, but tripped, causing the fans to boo. Taz scolded the fans, telling them, try it yourselves, as Monet did her dance, allowing Hart to attack from behind, and then did the Undertaker rope walk, clubbing the what's it called? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Why can't I think about it? What's it called, chat? You know what I'm talking about. The Undertaker rope walk spot. Fuck, why can't I think of it all? Why can't I think of the name of it all of a sudden? Oh, jeez. Anyways. Hart then slammed Monet down repeatedly onto the mat as Monet tried to sweep the leg on the apron, but Hart did a cartwheel only to be speared against the barricade. Monet then hit a Meteora off the apron and back inside they go. There's dueling chants for both women as Monet got Hart grounded. There was a jawbreaker into an inside cradle that got Hart a 2. Monet wanted to go for the 3 amigos and Hart escaped after the second. She tried a standing moonsault, but Monet got the knees up. Hart at one point rolled through a Monet Maker, jackknife cover, and got a 2, as both fought for position, ending up in the corner. Monet charged, but Hart got the tarantula as Taz gave a shout out to Tajiri. I liked that. There's an octopus hold applied by Hart as well, but Monet collapsed into the corner, sending Hart headfirst into the buckle. Hart stomped Monet to the mat, went to the top, and Monet hit a double stomp to the face off of her moonsault attempt. There's a 2 backstabbers that hit from Monet, but Hart fought off the third into a crucifix bomb for a 2. Old school. Thank you, Johnny. Both ladies traded stale statement makers and heartless attempts. As Monet rolled through into a quick pin for a 2, allowing her to reapply the statement maker. The crowd completely turned on Monet at this point and are entirely behind Hart, chanting for Julia. She escapes and got a roll up, only gets 2 off of it. Monet then recovers, flash cradle pin out of nowhere, 1, 2, 3, boom, 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 boom. So Mercedes barely, we're supposed to think here, and we saw, barely wins. Like the TBS champion wins, but barely. So we'll see if that plays in anything. I highly doubt it. Not a bad match, but it wasn't particularly any good. Like I said, this was a collision match at best. If we're ranking pay-per-view matches, dynamite matches, collision matches, this was a collision match at best. Esports Gaming Rules with some bit donations. He says, Chris Jericho lost the ROH World Championship. Does that mean the ROH TV deal talks are dead? Or does Tony Khan have a plan B, which is Monet? Well, first off, if you're trying to say, oh, he's going to put the ROH women's title on Mercedes to help with the TV deal, you're fucking full of shit. Mercedes Moné is not getting anybody a TV deal. I'm sorry to say it. Not that big of a name. Sasha Banks, different story. But tell you right now, TV executives probably don't know a Mercedes Moné. They hear the name Sasha Banks, that might ring a bell. But Mercedes Moné, probably not. That's your problem. A lot of people are going to see this girl and be like, wait, that's Sasha Banks. Mercedes Moné. What? She changed her name. I've heard it so many times in the past 2 years. Someone goes, wait, that's Sasha Banks, right? Like, oh my God. It's nuts. And I'm still hearing it. Still hearing it to this day. Wait, ain't that the Sasha Banks girl from WWE? She's never going to get past that. I mean, same thing with Saraya. Hey, ain't that Paige? Hey, ain't that Paige? So, when you're in WWE for so long, I mean, my son still calls John Moxley Dean Ambrose. So, whatever. Then we had the AEW Trios Championships on the line. Good match. I thought this was a fun, action-packed Trios match with an uninspired, very predictable, who gives a fuck post-match. Nigel McGuinness joins commentary at this point. We're told referee Paul Turner drew this assignment, whatever that's supposed to mean. Oh, wait, no. Now I get it. Ain't he the one that had the issues with Dax? No, it makes sense. Okay, now that I'm thinking about it. Anyways, Pac and Harwood started things off with the fast exchange. Oh, the match went, tag title, triple threat, trios, 14:45. Anywho. Where was I? Pac and Harwood started things off with the fast exchanges. There was a brutalizer attempt at one point. Cope tagged in and quickly, speaking of, hold on, give me 1 second before I can keep going. Speaking of, that's Sasha Banks. Oh, that's Dean Ambrose. In the post-show media scrum, some media member goes, hey, Tony, can we get an update on Edge's status and the attack and how he's doing after FTR turned on him? Edge. Granted, he did this way longer than Dean Ambrose was, or John Moxley was Dean Ambrose, and way longer than Mercedes was Sasha, but it's like, you're never going to lose those names. Tony just had to barrel on through and just be like, oh, yeah, Adam Copeland. So that's the whole thing. Edge. People still calling him Edge. Where was I? Cope tagged in and quickly was taken to the death. Quickly had the attack taken to the Death Riders. Yuta, who hails from Philly, was booed. Cope pulled on the Beard, tagged in Wheeler, who hit a slingshot shoulder tackle and chops to follow. Fast tags from Wheeler and Cope, who kept up the double team until Harwood joined in on the action as well. There was an assisted avalanche power slam by Wheeler on Castagnoli for a 2. Wheeler followed with a tope suicida as back inside, Pac ran directions, allowing Yuta to shove Wheeler off the top into a Castagnoli uppercut. Wheeler remained isolated until he went to make the hot tag to Cope. Harwood stole it and ran wild. Zero reaction from the crowd. Zero reaction. Dax Harwood gets a hot tag. The crowd just, oh. Nothing. Giovanni then repeatedly, he's trying to tag in Cope. He really wanted Cope to tag there, but he stole the tag. Castagnoli at one point and no-sold 3 Harwood lariats. Tried to pop-up uppercut, but Harwood countered into a backslide. Yuta tried to make the save, but Cope caught him with the grindhouse, while Harwood trapped Pac in the corner with a sharpshooter. Castagnoli then had Wheeler in one as well. Harwood and Castagnoli started swinging while having the submissions applied until it was broken up. Castagnoli cleaned house, tagged Yuta, and they did a giant swing into a drop kick on Harwood for a 2. Locomotion uppercuts in the corner from the Death Riders as Pac had a tombstone, while Castagnoli took turns with fastball specials using Yuta and Pac for a 2. Quick tags from the baby faces here as Cope hit a powerplex on Pac, while Wheeler hit a splash on Wheeler hit a splash and Harwood hit a headbutt off the top. Yuta then recovered and hit a missile drop kick on Cope, but was planted with a bounce back powerbomb by Harwood. Pac then reappeared and locked in the brutalizer as Castagnoli and Yuta held off Cope and Wheeler, but they broke through and stopped the submission. At one point, Yuta wanted the Busaku knee, but ran right into a shatter machine from FTR as Pac was planted with a spear. But Castagnoli, he broke it all up. Yuta then leapfrogged a spear. Cope nearly went into Harwood, then was pushed into Harwood by Yuta. Yuta then attacks Harwood with a huge Busaku knee and gets the pin 1, 2, 3. The match is over. Then we get this totally uninspired, what the hell, this meant nothing, god dang attack. So post-match, Death Riders are celebrating. They leave through the crowd. They're gone. Boom. rated FTR, that is, are still in the ring. Kind of standing tall, and they're like, oh, man, we came so close. Let's hug it out, boys. And so, Cash goes to leave. Cope turns around. All of a sudden, Dax grabs Cope. Pile driver. Pile driver shot in the worst way possible. We see that his head came nowhere near the mat. Dax is like, oh, I'm going to beat this man's ass now. And Cash is like, what are you doing? They kind of try to fight for a second, but it's all a ruse. It's all a ruse. Wheeler, Harwood quickly grabbed 2 chairs and wanted Wheeler to help him deliver a concerto, but Wheeler shoved his partner down. Wheeler then wanted to help Cope, but pulled him in for the shatter machine instead. FTR then hit the spike pile driver onto the chair as Harwood went to finish the job. But Wheeler stopped him and said, allow me. And he is the one that hit the concerto. Doctors ran in, put him on a stretcher, and there we go. I think it was Cash at one point, grabbed the neck brace and put it on. It was like, ha, 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 look at me, look at me. This was dog shit. No one cared. The crowd didn't barely even care. I didn't care. It's too predictable. Everybody saw this coming. And it's just like, okay, now what? We could eventually get Edge and Christian. Cope and Christian. Like, I don't care at all for FTR turning on Cope. It meant nothing. It means nothing. It's whatever. It was kind of a boring meh of a attack. Give me 1 second to block this fool. Ban yo ass. Thank you. So yeah, they take him out on a stretcher and away we go. We get the AEW Women's World Championship on the line. This match itself went 15 minutes and 25 seconds. It was timeless Toni Storm, or should I say Tony Balboa, defending against Megan Bayne. Okay. Unless you are considered a super strong powerhouse, when your opponent is like this much bigger than you, like take Toni Storm's here, Megan Bayne's like way up here, don't be giving them German suplexes and whatnot. Toni Storm almost killed Megan Bayne twice, or seriously injured her twice. We had that German off the ropes that Megan Bayne barely rotated enough for. We got another German where Megan landed very bad and awkward on her shoulder and side of her neck. Toni Storm's way too short to be giving someone as big as Megan Bayne these German suplexes like this. Because, again, unless you're like Layla Hirsch and you're known to be like just super strong and you can herk these women up over you, no. If your opponent is that much bigger than you, don't. Please don't. Anyways, where was I? Storm tried to start the match off pretty quickly, but Bayne showed her power with a shoulder tackle before tackling Toni into the corner. Storm ducked the lariat and hit a crossbody out of the corner as she fired off some body kicks, only to be caught with an overhead throw. After a body slam, Bayne wiped her feet with Storm as the crowd booed loudly. She then flattened her follow-away slam and a big boot that sent Storm to the outside. Luther tended on Storm as Bayne tried a big tope suicida, wiping out Luther. Storm dodged this and used Luther as a launch pad to hit a tornado DDT. Back inside the ring, a diving crossbody off the top got Storm a near fall. Ford tripped up Storm, allowing Bayne to hit a pump kick and regain control. Bayne remained in control and in the driver's seat. Penelope Ford got in more shots as well, licking Storm in the process. And I'm like, what? The ref's kind of just there. Like, we don't see the ref distracted or anything. What the hell? And that was a thing on this show. Dumb fucking refs. And don't even get me started. We'll talk about it in the Jericho match. Oh my God. Storm tried battling back with a Thez press, but Bayne caught and hit repeated overhead throws. About, 4 of them or so. The fourth time, Ford tried interfering. Luther recovered and carried her to the back, leaving Bayne all alone. Toni as well, though. This allowed Storm to ramp up, finally hitting the Thez press and a tornado DDT out of the corner. There's an Indian Deathlock STF variation, but Bayne powered her way through it and got to the ropes. Bayne avoided a Storm Zero, sent Storm to the apron, where she hit a back suplex from the to the outside. Bayne then took too long, going to the ropes, allowing Storm to recover and hit a release German suplex that nearly dropped Bane on her head. Oh my God, I thought she was hurt. I feel like the third camera angle replay we saw, then I was like, okay, she's fine. She rotated enough, barely, but she rotated enough. Bane at one point caught a charge and hit a stalling German of her own. Bane connected on a brutal Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Storm rolled through Fate's descent. They traded standing switches till Storm hit a snap German. Again, landed right on her shoulder. That one may have been Megan's fault, though. I don't know. But still, when your opponent's that much bigger than you, don't be giving them throws like this. Sweet cheek music that hit. Bane no-sold it. The Storm fired off a headbutt, flush, and 3 more cheek musics. There's a whip. She whiplashed Bane's head. Storm hit the Storm 0, but Bane was out of 1. Shocking everybody with the kick out. Bane hit herself repeatedly as she stood up and clobbered Storm with 2 lariats. There's a Liger bomb. She looked for Fate's descent, but Storm countered into a small package. Flash pin, bing, bing, boom. There we go. That was it. Storm just wins with a flash roll up. 2 matches in a row. No, not in a row. But the only 2 women's matches we get, women don't even win decisively. Neither women wins decisively and looks strong. It's just, oh, you caught your opponent out of nowhere. Like, really? What are we doing here? Neither Monet or Storm actually won with their finish. So, yeah. We're to think that they barely won their match. Moving forward, we had another match in the Owen Cup. This was a really good match. I thought this match was super fun. I thought it was actually better than Kevin Knight and Will Osprey. It was Kyle Fletcher and Mark Brisco. Boy, is Mark Brisco amazing. Match went 16-15. But I thought this was better than the Will Osprey match. The Will Osprey Kevin Knight match, this was better. Early on, Fletcher hit a dive, kind of actually before the bell even rang during Briscoe's entrance. He hit a haluva kick, but Brisco nearly countered a brain buster into a cradle for a 2. Fletcher went to the apron where he hit a thrust kick, but backdropped by Brisco on the edge of the ring. There's a somersault neck breaker off the apron as he tried to hit a step up off of a chair. Referee Rick Knox took it away, though. Brisco then told the crowd to boo this man, and he hit a baseball slide instead. He then hit a leap off the barricade into an elbow. Brisco threw in multiple chairs, causing Knox to play fetch, giving Brisco enough time to try a springboard, but Fletcher cut him off and hit an exploder onto the chair. It was just undetected by Knox, and then we see Takeshita watching backstage. Don's on commentary. It's charging boot. It sent Brisco flying to the floor as Fletcher hit multiple power bombs on the apron. And this was kind of dumb. The ref's yelling at Fletcher, get him in the ring, get him in the ring. Hey, enough of this, get him in the ring. He's like, oh, get him in the ring, I'll slam him on the ring. And I was like, stop, get him in the ring. I'll get him in the ring, I'll slam him on the ring. I'm like, ref, if you really want to force him in the ring, start your goddamn count. Once you get to 9, he's going to have to jump in the ring. Come on, ref. The ref's just at ringside. Get him in the ring. Get him in the ring. No, I don't want to powerbomb on the apron. Oh, I don't want to throw him into the barricade. No, I don't want to powerbomb on the apron. AEW referees are jokes. They've got no authority over these goddamn wrestlers. I'll say that right now. None. The wrestlers in AEW, I'm going to say it right now, feel like 90% of the time, they don't respect the referees and the referee's decisions or the referee's calls or rules. It literally feels like, oh, you're the ref? I just need you to count to 3 or say the guy tapped out. I don't care what you tell me otherwise. Literally, that's how it feels in AEW. Like the wrestlers don't respect the refs. And in turn, they always make these refs look dumb. So why would you even respect them anyways? Fuck. Anyways, there's a charging boot that sent Brisco flying to the floor. And from here, it was basically the Kyle Fletcher show. Kyle Fletcher just beat his ass. Fletcher hit multiple power bombs on the apron, like I stated. Excalibur brought up the possibility of Fletcher and Takeshita facing off in the next round. Or in the finals, I mean. Kyle said he was stirring stuff up. Shivani was about to call him out on it, and Brisco broke the count. Fletcher then charged with a big boot and wanted an avalanche brainbuster, but Brisco broke free from it. Shotgun dropkick into the double down spot, as we see Brody King also watching backstage as well. Both traded hard chops as Fletcher turned the kitchen sink knee inside out, leading to both ducking some running clothesline attempts and so forth. And then we get a double down spot for a reset. At one point, Fletcher there was an enziguri and a thrust kick on the apron, as Fletcher followed with a nasty brainbuster on the apron and a proper sheer drop brainbuster in the ring for a 2, as Callis is furious that Briscoe's kicking out. Brisco floated over an avalanche brainbuster, wanted a cutthroat driver, but Fletcher held onto the ropes. There's a BT bomb, basically a razor's edge off the ropes from Brisco, who followed with a froggy bow for a close near fall. Brisco wanted to go for the J driller. Fletcher spun out of it, but Brisco hit a cutthroat driver. Fletcher wisely rolled to the outside so he couldn't get pinned. Brisco then hit a leaping froggy bow to the outside as he throws him back into the ring. But Fletcher hit him with the double boots, basically running haluva kick in the corner, but these were devastating looking. Like, Sami Zayn's got a cool looking haluva kick, but these kicks, it was like he's running as fast as he can, like, and then the kick is just boom, boom, just whoa. Like, these kicks looked devastating. He then hits that avalanche brainbuster and pins Mark Brisco to pick up the victory. I thought it was a really good match. Probably my second favorite match of the night. So now we do have, as far as the men's tournament does go, Will Osprey has advanced on his side of the bracket. Fletcher has advanced on his side of the bracket. I can really see these finals, depending on where they're going with it now. If Hangman's not the one winning, then I see the finals as Osprey and Fletcher. But if it's Hangman winning, or if my idea of Swerve being the wild card, but I think there's a really good chance. I'd put like an 80% on it right now, that the finals are Osprey and Fletcher. I mean, I think for sure Osprey wins his side. So we'll see. So then we go and we get the ROH title on the line. It's title versus mask. And was this a good match? For the most part, yes. Did this have one of the worst finishes I've ever seen? You're goddamn right. Bandido only got to keep his mask because mommy, sister. God damn, is this fucking dumb. This match went 18-15 and had just the fucking worst finish ever, with a referee that wasn't even part of the match. And usually AEW makes one ref in a match look like a fucking moron. No, they made 2 at the exact same time look like goddamn idiots. But again, was the match good for the majority? Yeah. I thought Jericho and Bandido worked very well together. Until the bullshit. Bandido comes down, and they gotta let us know. What was this thing? Hold on. They gotta let us know his mom and his sister are ringside. But what the fuck was with the guy standing behind his family with his phone? You know, I don't have anything similar on my screen, but with his phone like this, trying to show like the crowd, the camera, and it had scores on it. What fucking scores were those? And he was like moving his phone around, like, look. What the fuck was this guy in the crowd doing? Trying to like show the scores on his phone. What game was that? Is it like 67 to 70 something or something? I don't even know what the fuck that was. Anyways. So Bandido hugged his sister and his mom. And Jericho then came out. Jericho was wearing the what do we call them? Trunks, but they were Lionheart inspired. They had the black and the yellow going back to his days in Mexico. Anyways, match starts and immediately Jericho hits a big code breaker, trying to go for the pin and winning the match quickly. Alliance all connected and got another 2 really quickly. Bandido recovered, avoided a Jericho charge into a handspring and sent Jericho to the floor. He hit a dive and then another dive and clearing the top with the somersault plancha. Bandido brought Jericho over to his family, kissed his mom, and then calmed her before throwing Jericho back into the ring, going up to the top for a tornillo and getting a 2 off of it. There's a one-handed stalling vertical suplex for a full minute. This was great. One-handed-ish. So Bandido always does this, like, you know, he counts to 10. Sometimes he'll get to 20, and then he drops him for the suplex, but he's always got the one hand. He's like, so he does the whole, he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. But then he got to 20, and he's telling the crowd, no, keep going. 20, and they get to 30, and he's like, keep going. He's like bouncing Jericho. They get to 40. He's like, go. They get to 50, and eventually he's like, nope, I gotta hold him. Two hands. And then he's like 60, or they get to like, no, they get to 40, 45, and he grabs them. They get to 50, and he's like, keep going. They get to 60. They're like 59, 60. Whole fucking minute he held Jericho up for this suplex, where at least 45 seconds, if not more of it, was one-handed. This was cool. This is a cool spot for sure. It was funny. Nigel goes, the crowd's counting along, but they're counting in English. Should be Spanish. That was funny. There was a running boot on the apron from Bandido, who tried it again, but Jericho caught him with the powerbomb. And he powerbombed him off the apron on the floor. Oh my God, did this look bad. Like brutal. Jericho then caught him, like I said, powerbombed him, causing Bandido to go splat. Jericho then grabbed the camera and started filming Bandido's family because they were crying. Jericho kicked up his feet in the corner and took a breather as Bandido broke the count in 15. Remember, ROH rules, which means 20 count. Just like Japan, 20 count. So ROH rules, ROH title. Crowd then gives Jericho the please retire kind of stuff. Both started slugging it out until Bandido hit a spinning DDT, firing up with a series of kicks. Jericho answered with an enziguri, and again, trash talks the family, allowing Bandido to hit a sunset flip bomb for a 2. Bandido was crotched in the corner as Jericho hit 10 punches, tried a Hurricane Rana, but Bandido caught him, looked for a power bomb, and Jericho countered into a snap Hurricane Rana in midair. Jericho again opted to pose, allowing Bandido to hit a gorilla press slam where he had him up there and he's like one hand, and then he pulled him back up really fast. He then hit a frog splash and got a 2 off of it. Bandido then tried another tornillo, but Jericho got the double knees for a double down spot. Both found themselves back to back at one point as they slowly rose to their feet, nodded, and went at it. Kind of a little Mexican standoff here. Jericho attacked Bandido from behind. Jericho tried a head scissors, waving to the crowd in midair, but Bandido countered into a reverse GTS. Bandido wanted the 21 plex, but Jericho kind of rolled through it into a walls of Jericho. Bandido got to the ropes as Jericho argued with referee Bryce Remsburg. This then led to Brian Keith running down, but only to be thwarted and stopped by gravity. So this is when we start getting the bullshit. So Gravity and Brian Keith are out there fighting. Referee Bryce Remsburg is now looking outside. He's between the middle and top rope, peering through. Hey, what are you guys doing? All of a sudden, Aubrey just shows up out of nowhere. Aubrey Edwards. And she's yelling at them, stop, go to the back, stop. And freaking Bryce is still also yelling at them at the same time. So no referee. We got two referees out here. Both paying attention to these fuckers that aren't even in the match. And Jericho just goes over. Ooh, I got the bat. Oh, hey, boom. Hits Bandido kind of in the shoulder. That's beside the point. And then he goes back over and he hides the freaking bat. And I'm like, why are you taking so much time to hide this bat? Just drop it at ringside and the ref's not going to see it. But no, he's got to make the point, and we know why eventually, to stick it right back where it was, in there, hide it, blah, blah, blah. And then eventually he turns around. All of a sudden, as soon as Jericho's ready, the ref's ready. Jericho goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, no fucking way. They just beat Bandido and took his mask. Wow. I didn't see that one coming. So I'm like, okay. Go to make my graphic. I type the word Chris Jericho, and all of a sudden I hear something. I look over, and Aubrey's talking to the family. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And the mom's like, hey, over there, he used a bat. He cheated. Look, you go find it over there. And I'm like, well, first off, ref's decision is final. I don't care what mom saw. I don't care what the sister saw. And Aubrey wasn't the referee. What the hell are we doing? And Aubrey's like, wait, what? He what? Okay, hold on. She goes over. Aubrey Edwards pulls the bat out, and she's like, oh my God, he did. He did what? Just because the bat's there doesn't mean he actually used it. Granted, he did, but you don't know that because you didn't see it. They didn't play a replay on the screen where all of a sudden you go, oh my God, what did we miss? And again, Aubrey wasn't even the referee. So then her and Bryce walk over to Justin Roberts, and they talk to Justin Roberts, and Justin Roberts goes, I have just been informed by the referee this match is to be restarted. And then immediately Bandido hits Jericho with something, whatever. I'm so like, what the fuck, that I don't even know what, I didn't even write down one. I think he hit the 21 plex and then pinned Jericho. What was this bullshit? This was the dumbest fucking finish I think I've seen in the last 2-3 decades, if ever. Jericho cheated, used the bat, whatever. Okay, that's Jericho's thing. He cheats, he uses that bat sometimes. Cool. But then to do the whole, we're reversing it because his mom said he cheated. Yes, everybody in that building except the 2 referees saw it happen. And whose decision is final? The referee. But the referee's going to reverse it based off of what his mom said? So what if Jericho, and this is totally hypothetical because this is not what happened. What if Jericho didn't cheat, but the mom saw Jericho maybe at one point try to go for the bat and not get it? So then she lies to the referee and says, there's a bat over there that he used. And the referee still takes her word for it. What if that was the you know what I mean? Like, this was preposterous. This was ridiculous. This was the drizzling shits. Bandido gets to keep the belt or keep the mask and wins the belt because his mommy tattled on Jericho. That's fucking it. His mommy and his sister tattled on Jericho. And the ref took their side. You know what I tell my kids when one tries to tattle on the other, but I don't see it happen? I'm like, I can't take a side because I didn't see it happen. You say your sister did this. You say your brother did that, but I didn't see it. So how am I supposed to know who's telling the truth and who's lying? You know? So this was some grade A bullshit. Just the worst fucking ending I've seen in a long time. A long time. And then I don't know why, but this match almost didn't even happen because apparently Tony Khan and somebody, they won't say who. Tony even addressed it in the media scrum. But he's like, yeah, I was negotiating with somebody for this match and personal reasons the match almost didn't happen. But it's not for what you think. It's not for what you think. So it's like, it's not because we wanted, like, you know, he wants you to think that, I don't know. So the rumor was like, oh my God, Bandido didn't want to do the match. Does that mean they were going to take the mask off of him at one point? I don't know. But Tony Khan's thing was, yeah, Thursday, we finally got this match approved by both competitors because there was something personal that almost made it not, I don't know what that personal is, but yeah, something personal almost made this match not happen. Right, Esports Gaming Rules with another bit donation. He says, I'm going to check out the WrestleMania 41 week schedule on postwrestling.com and check out the coverage on the Post Wrestling Cafe Patreon because I check out the New Japan reviews via a link. But okay, we ain't. I thank you for the bit donation, but this ain't a hey advertise Post Wrestling thing here. Like, granted, Post Wrestling great, love those guys over there. Watch their stuff periodically from time to time, but it's like they ain't paying me to promote their stuff. So again, thank you for the bit donations, but I ain't promoting other people's content and telling people, hey, go check out these guys when you instead of watching me. Kind of thing. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell other people to go watch somebody else or go check out somebody else's stuff when I'm covering a lot of the same stuff as well. It's like AEW saying, hey, WWE is sponsoring our show. Go watch WWE, or vice versa. You know, NXT saying, it's different when it's like NXT saying, go watch TNA. They're in a partnership. I don't have a partnership with Post Wrestling, so I'm not going to go tell people, hey, go watch Post Wrestling. You know what I mean? And again, thank you for the bit donations. Anywho, TNT title on the line. No interference, no time limit. With no time limit, match only went 15 minutes, which is a little disappointing because they did the 20-minute draw before. And so I'm like, okay, they got to go at least 25, maybe even 30. They go 15. They actually went less than they did. So what is the fucking point of saying no time limits when they don't even come close to the time limit? 5 minutes still left. Because it was 15, a little under 5 minutes still left. It was 15:35 according to the Wikipedia. Early on, and it was Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia, if you were unaware. Early on, Pie faces a slugfest, kicked things off. Cole missed a pump kick and ran into a Garcia charging knee. Garcia was failed to hit 10 corner punches on Cole during their string of matches. Finally did hit it, but pushed his luck. Tried to go for more than 10, and it didn't work. Cole threw him to the floor. Cole then wanted a Panama Sunrise on the apron. Garcia dodged, and Cole came up limping. They start mentioning, Adam Cole's ankle injury and the surgery, and is he hurt again, this, that, and whatnot. And Stephon Diggs, the referee, needs to go check on him because he might be hurt. And the referee never checks on him. The referee just lets the match keep going. The commentary's over here saying the ref needs to check on him, and the ref doesn't. So I don't know. Yeah. Where was I? Back inside the ring, Garcia zoned in on the ankle. Cole is really selling the leg very well here. The moment Garcia let his foot off the gas barely, Cole hit a fireman's carry neck breaker and got a good near fall off of it. Cole tried a Panama Sunrise again, but Garcia rolled through, nearly hitting the Dragon Tamer, only settled for a lariat and turned Cole inside out as Garcia mean mugged the camera. Garcia then connected. Ooh, my nose. I feel like I'm going to sneeze all of a sudden. Garcia connected on a visually awesome twisting gotch style pile driver. Commentary put it over as a Jerry Lynn style pile driver. Taz is like, I've hit by one of those in this city before. Or they're in Philly. Garcia lowered the knee pad. Cole ramped up with a slugfest. Looked like Garcia was maybe going to go lower the boom, but I don't know. Both collided with stereo big boots. Garcia hit a snapback suplex. Throw overhead chops, ran into a super kick, and Garcia literally almost fell into the pin, got a 2 off of it. One point, Garcia followed up a big ankle lock that Cole rolled through and sent Cole crashing into the steps. Garcia stood tall and posed. This delay allowed Cole to hit a neck breaker on the knee while both were standing on the steps. There was a Panama Sunrise that was hit off the apron as Cole went to lower the boom back in the ring, but Garcia collapsed. At one point, Cole's leg buckled on him, and Garcia hit a Panama Sunrise of his own. Garcia then lowered the boom, and Cole kicked out. It was a frustrated Garcia slammed Cole's leg repeatedly against the mat, but he had second thoughts when trying to go for a pile driver. Call back to the match with MJF last year. Garcia went for an avalanche pile driver, but Cole fought out and hit a Panama Sunrise flush. Cole then went to the other side of the ring, hit a second before lowering the boom and pinning Daniel Garcia to become the new TNT champion. Post-match, the two kind of offer their respect to one another, handshake, and there we go. There's a heartbreaking Daniel Garcia and a brand new TNT champion. I thought it was a really good match. I thought this match fully delivered. These two worked very well together, as they should, since this is like their, third, fourth singles match now. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was very good, very solid. Two worked very well together. So then we got the match of the night. Oh boy, was this match amazing. It went over 30 minutes. It went 31 on the dot. And right now, the main event also went 31-35. But this match, oh my God. Best three-way I've seen in recent memory for sure. Probably my favorite three-way ever. Probably the one Royal Rumble, Jericho, Benoit, Kurt. That might be my favorite triple threat ever. But this one's up there now. This match rocked. This match ruled. Elite, here's the difference. He says it took 7 months for Adam Cole to win a title in WWE. It took 4 years in AEW. Adam Cole was out injured for more than half of them 4 years. Remember, he suffered multiple serious concussions that kept him out of action for a long time. Then he had the ankle injury that kept him out for like a year. You ever remember that as well? Adam Cole has actually missed half the time he's been signed with AEW has been out injured. So just think about that. Ricochet immediately bailed, so Omega and Bayley started things off. Omega got a roll up and was sent to the floor and into the commentary table. Ricochet was sent outside, leaving Omega to hit a Hurricane Rana on Bayley, but as Ricochet went for one on Omega, he was trapped in an armbar. Bayley ramped up a speedball kick on Omega. Ricochet then flew in, missed a dive. Bayley hit a dive to the outside on Omega. Ricochet sprung to the floor, but got paintbrushed back and forth by the two on the outside. It popped the crowd. And then all of a sudden there was chants of bald. Omega wanted a "you can't escape" on Bayley, who in fact escaped, allowing Bayley to drape Omega over the barricade. Bayley wanted a moonsault and double knees, but Ricochet stopped him and hit a rolling DVD on Bayley onto Omega on the barricade. Commentary talked about, oh my God, Kenny taking shots to the gut. So there's a great camera shot here as Bayley flew. Oh, no. Okay, so I skipped like 3 lines here. Where was I? So there's a Tope Suicida. It took out both men on the outside of the ring. And then Ricochet goes and takes Shivani's headset and starts talking shit. And, you know, that's this thing he's been doing for a little bit now. And all of a sudden, the camera's just right on Ricochet, just dead straight on Ricochet. All of a sudden, you see this blue kick pad and a leg come just flying in. Boom! Perfect fucking camera placement and shot. Mike Bayley just flies in with a kick, knocks Ricochet's head off, basically. He then tries to grab the headset, and he says something, but the headset got unplugged, so we couldn't hear what he said. It was funny, though. This is great. Just the visual of it is amazing. I think he like politely apologized, they said. Where was I? Omega quickly came in and tried to hit the "you can't escape," but Bayley dodged the moonsault. Ricochet then flew in, missed the lion salt as he nearly got a double pin on Bayley for off of a Bayley backslide attempt on Omega. Bayley then meanwhile nearly pinned both of them with a double crucifix. When Omega did double backslides for a 2, everyone popped up only to deck one another with high kicks for a triple down. And now this is awesome spot. Everyone started slugging it down on their feet as Ricochet kept being discarded by Bayley and Omega. There was a whole thing where it was like Bayley really wanted to beat Kenny. Bayley really, like, they're like, hey, Omega's down. Go after Ricochet. But he wanted to keep going after Omega. Like, he felt like he had to beat the champion or something. I don't know exactly what this was all about. But with Bayley and Ricochet down on the floor, Omega got the crowd amped up for a Terminator dive. I think it was, I forget who was on commentary going, looks like Kenny Omega wants to terminate both of them with this dive. I think if Shivani said it, and Taz is like, no, really? Ricochet turns to fly as he had a picture perfect Fosbury flop. He then went for a baseball slide, but Bayley dodged, sprung up, and hit an Acai moonsault. Omega and Bayley back inside the ring. Bayley missed a PK and a moonsault, and Ricochet and Omega were stacked on each other, allowing Bayley to hit a standing moonsault for double knees. Standing moonsault, double knee. So that 5 times fast. Standing moonsault, double knees. Standing moonsault, double knees. Standing moonsault, double knees. Standing moonsault, double knees. There's then a time adventure, destroyed Omega, but Ricochet pulled referee Rick Knox's leg during the count. Remember, he messed the ref. No DQ in a 3-way. Pissed off Mike Bayley went after Ricochet on the floor and beat him up relentlessly on the apron. Bayley then tried to moonsault double knees, but missed and crashed badly. And at this point, he's really selling the knees, really selling that he hurt himself bad. Ricochet fought with Omega up top on the ropes. Bayley then came back in with a wild avalanche press Rana on Ricochet, but instead of making the pin attempt, he went after Omega. And he kept doing this like, I got to beat the champ. I got to beat Kenny. I got to go get Kenny. And the referee's like, Kenny's already down. Don't worry about him. He then dropped Omega, the Snapdragon. Ricochet then suffered the same fate. Omega then stacked Bailey on Ricochet and hit a wild double Snapdragon. Crowd went wild. With both men set in position for a V trigger, he delivers it as Bailey was launched from the ring during this. Ricochet countered a one-winged angel attempt. Omega countered a vertigo attempt, but Omega was able to hit the Kratos Wrath for a near fall. Bailey dodged a one-winged angel's attempt and hit a back heel kick as they teased the callback of how Ricochet and Bailey won their match and, you know, got into this, the stacked pin and the double pin and this and that. Ricochet dragon screwed Bailey, wanted a powerbomb on Omega, who sent Ricochet tumbling to the outside. There's a roundhouse kick that cracked Omega from Bailey as Bailey hit the Adventure Time in the corner. He missed the ultimate weapon as he screamed in pain as his knee was hurting again, allowing Omega to sink in a knee bar. Ricochet flew in with a 450 splash on Omega and got a 2 off of it. Ricochet hit the vertigo, but Bailey kicked out, and Ricochet couldn't believe it. Omega cut off a spirit gun attempt as Bailey got a high stack for a 2. There's a roundhouse kick that landed again on Omega as Bailey went up in the corner, only to get shoved off by Ricochet, followed with a shooting star press for a 2. Ricochet wanted another on Bailey, and he got his knees up in a cradle for a near fall. As he come towards the end of the match here, Ricochet begged off as Bailey paintbrushed the hell out of Ricochet, who caught a kick and a wrenched bad knee. Bailey then fought on his feet and struck a crane pose, and I'm like, oh, we're doing it. We're doing it. And he's like, well, no, well, no. Ricochet's like, who does this guy think he is? A Karate Kid looks at the crowd and goes, you think he's going to get me with this? You really think he's going to get me with this? So he runs at Bailey, and Bailey, kapow, kicks him right in the face, Karate Kid style. And I popped for it, and at the same time, I'm like, that was cool and ridiculous all at the same time. Because we saw it coming. The way Ricochet's like, he ain't going to get me. He ain't going to get me. Then why would you even run into it? Or why wouldn't you run and slide under him or something if you know it's coming? But he still hits it. Hits a flush. Ricochet flew back. This was great. He's a blah, killed him. So he hits the crane kick. Just like Daniel LaRusso. Also, new Karate Kid movie coming. Go Kai, go watch that. Great. Britt Baker's in it. Bailey hit an ultimate weapon, but Omega flew in and broke up the pin with a V trigger. Wanted a one-winged angel, but Ricochet broke it up with the poison rod on Omega. Ricochet wanted an avalanche vertigo, but Omega joined with an avalanche one-winged angel. And this was kind of weird, but kind of cool all at the same time. So Mike Bailey is, so I'm going to pull this up for a second. So you can kind of, give me a, nah, I got this. So they're sitting here on the ropes, right? This is Mike Bailey. He's facing outwards towards the crowd. Ricochet's behind him, wanting to go for something. Omega then climbs up, grabs Ricochet, one-winged angel off the middle rope. All of a sudden, Mike Bailey just kind of like falls back, and his legs are hooked. The one thing I wish they would have done here, maybe a little better, is when Omega and Ricochet came down with that one-winged angel, somebody grabbed Bailey and pulled him or something, because Bailey kind of just falls back on his own. So it didn't look perfect or great, really. I get what it was supposed to be. Maybe with the eruption of the mat with the one-winged angel, it shook everything, and that's why Bailey fell. But anyways, Mike Bailey's now hanging there in a Tree of Woe spot. He's trying to, and this was actually a good thing. Like, he did this very well. So Omega goes for the pin, gets that pin on Ricochet to retain the belt, 1, 2, 3. But as Bailey is laying there, he's like reaching for Ricochet, kind of grabs Ricochet's foot at one point, but doesn't have the leverage to like pull Ricochet enough to stop the pin. So it looked cool. It was just the way Bailey fell into the Tree of Woe looked a little like, oh, I just put myself in that because that's what I'm supposed to do. Regardless, this match was freaking amazing, phenomenal. Everything was, I mean, I don't think this match could have been much better. It was probably a 5-star match. There right now. This is probably, in my opinion, I would say 5-star match. So afterwards, Omega kind of crawls over into the corner and he looks over at the timekeeper's there and he's like, oh, I need a drink. Please, someone give me some water. And so they're like, oh, Jericho, or not Jericho, Omega, he's parched. This match took it out of him. And all of a sudden, the money falls. We hear the coins drop. Out comes Kazuchika Okada. There's a nothing happening spot. Okada comes down. They stare at each other. Mega flinch first, and then Okada left. Basically, they just want you to know, hey, we're building to these two. Probably the match at All In. I can even see it being a match to unify the Continental and the International. Give us an Intercontinental title. Just put them together and make it the Intercontinental title. But they just want to keep telling us, hey, these two are going to meet in the ring eventually. Possibly soon. I think it's All In. Which it's been discussed multiple times, we've heard. So let me go to our main event. It's 31 minutes, 35 seconds. This match fucking sucked. Like, literally. This match, had to follow that fucking great match. But then, in turn, did nothing for anything. There was one spot that got a big pop because it was the swerve stomp off the ladder. And I feel like the only reason it got a big pop, not because the crowd cared, but because, oh my God, we saw someone break the table off of a ladder. We got a pop. Because that's what we're supposed to do. Not because we care, but it's because we did what we were supposed to do as a crowd. Pop for that spot that looked cool, but still meant nothing. When the fuck was this match announced as no DQ, no count out? Because they're doing all this bullshit, and the ref ain't ever counting. The ref ain't yelling at these guys. Maybe once get in the ring, but they're pulling out big ass ladders, chairs, and the ref's just whatever. And I'm just like, why am I supposed to fucking care? Why am I supposed to care? Cool thing here. Swerve Strickland came out of Static Shock. Don't tell Xavier Woods. So, Swerve comes out of Static Shock. And Tony Schiavone goes, that was a cool entrance. I thought he was coming out as Zeus from DC Comics. Zeus? What, because of lightning bolts, you dumb son of a bitch? No, he's Static Shock. WB cartoon Saturday morning. Static Shock was freaking awesome. Granted, Tony Schiavone's way older than the demo that would know Static Shock. Anyways. Paul Turner then holds up the briefcase. He's like, oh, the world title is in here. I'm like, okay, cool. Ridiculous. Still fucking ridiculous. Commentary even brought up how they thought these two would slug it out early, but instead they kind of stared at each other early. Strickland then eventually picks the ankle. They wrestle. Like, legit. Excuse me. Legit just wrestle. Moxley scrambles and escapes, but Strickland took him back down. Ultimately connecting in the corner with an uppercut. Then he hit the gritty. Also, let me get the poll going on Twitch so you guys have time to vote on that if you're watching on Twitch. What think? Also, remember, if you guys want to get your comment, questions, or concern right live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. What did you think of AEW Dynasty? Liked it. Oop. It was all right. All right, if you are watching on Twitch, you can go vote now. Back to the match, though. Hold on. I'm pretty sure Static Shock was in the early 2000s on TV. Yep. You're wrong there, Elite. Static Shock was not a 90s cartoon. It ran from 2000 to 2004 on the CW. Or WB. CW now, but on the WB. So you'd be wrong there, bud. September 23rd, 2000. Barely towards the end of WCW. So no, Static Shock was not in the 90s, you know, the dying WCW era. Nope. You want a Donald Duck impression? That's Donald Duck. Do a better Mickey, though. Oh, boy. Or a Goofy. 90s comics. I didn't follow Static Shock comic. I didn't know anything about no Static Shock comic. All I knew was Static Shock was a cartoon that was awesome in the 2000s. I'm going to tell you right now, most people that know Static Shock don't know it for the comic, know it for the cartoon. I know now that it's a comic, like after the cartoon ended. But again, most people that know and love Static Shock now only know it for the cartoon. Anyways, for the test of strength, broke by Moxley as Strickland flipped out of the corner, sending Moxley to the floor to eat a pump kick. Back in the ring, Strickland then went to the top, but Moxley swung for the fences and sent Strickland crashing to the outside. Marina Shafir then literally stepped on top of him, walking away before Moxley stomped his head into the steps. Moxley was hell-bent on busting Strickland open with forearms to the forehead before going back to the floor. Moxley chucked Strickland over the announce table and, well, wiped out Excalibur and came up bleeding. Moxley then bit at his eyebrow area where he was bleeding from. Moxley hit a paradigm shift on the ring steps before taking a victory lap back in the ring as Strickland just broke the count of 9. There's a stalling pile driver for Moxley for a near fall, who bit it and wrenched at Strickland's cut once again. He then flipped off the crowd, booting Strickland in the face. Inside, he set it for a inside-out suplex as Strickland called for Knox to check on him. He's like, hey, look at my eye. Like, I guess it was getting bad or something. I don't know. But he asked the referee to actually check him out. We're like, oh, that sounds serious. Moxley again bit at the forehead. He dared Strickland to hit him harder. Strickland obliged and buckled the champion. Forearm shots back and forth, slaps and whatnot. There's even a Kimura sunk in into a triangle. Strickland powered up and hit a powerbomb to break it. Strickland then ramped up with some strikes into a delayed vertical suplex for a near fall. Mox tried a choke. Strickland rolled into a pin attempt for a 2. Strickland then wanted to go for a rolling flatliner, but Moxley hit a cutter in midair. Strickland then countered a Death Rider into a vertebreaker attempt, but Moxley spun out into a bulldog choke, transitioned into a rear naked choke. Strickland then got the ropes and finally was able to hit the rolling flatliner before hitting a house call on Mark for a 2. Like, perfect house call. There's another house call. But when he tried to go for the third, Moxley turned him inside out with the lariat. Only that he, no-sold it and hit another one for a double down spot. Shafir came into the ring at one point with the briefcase and teased using it until Prince Nana got in her face. Shafir kind of decked him. She was very soft and kind with this briefcase shot to Prince Nana. The ref's just like, oh! Like, he was like, he marked out for it. She hits Prince Nana and he's just like, oh. I'm like, ref, get him out of the goddamn ring. Moxley then leaps up, hits a cutter, mistakenly lays out Marina, though. Strickland then dropped Moxley with the paradigm shift, but took too long to go for the pin because he's hurting. Moxley then brought out a big-ass ladder. He set it up next to the announce table, but Strickland fought him back, raked his back, and like, oh, he's scratching his back. That's something Moxley would do. He then bit at his head and hit a swerve stomp off the ladder through the Spanish announce table. Strickland appeared to have tweaked his leg in the process as he actually both staggered and stumbled and barely got back into the ring. Moxley went for the leg as Marina Shafir recovered and threw in a chair. Moxley then chucked it at Strickland, who ducked, and referee Paul Turner was clobbered with it. And I'm like, ref, see these guys just playing with chairs? Now look what happened. Your fucking dumbass got hit. Yeah, that's what you fucking deserve, letting these guys fight with plunder and blunder. You idiot. That's what you fucking deserve. And then this shit goes off the rails. More than it already has. Hangman comes sauntering down. Strickland connects with the vertebreaker, and Hangman's on the apron. Buckshot. Swerve? No. Moxley. Swerve. Pack. Woo! Pack comes and knocks down Hangman off the apron. The rest of the Death Riders come, and they start attacking Hangman in the ring. So they're beating the shit out of Hangman in the ring, but he fights them all off. I'm the Incredible Hulk. So he fights them all off and whatnot, sidesteps a Busaku knee. Yuta crashes into Claudio. He sends Pac to the outside. He's pissed off with the Death Rider, so he grabs Moxley and hits him with a Deadeye as the commentary is yelling, what is this? We'll never know who he was actually going to hit with the buckshot. Was he going to hit Swerve? Was he going to hit Moxley? We don't know. He's mad at everybody now. The Ops then come down. They run off the Trios champions, the Death Riders. They retreat. Strickland then chucks a chair, just boom, throws it right in Moxley's face. Just throws this chair right in Moxley's face. He barely gets his hands up to block it. Swerve then hits the Swerve stomp, but his knee gives out. There's no ref to count either. All of a sudden, the lights go out. Commentary's over here. We're sorry, folks. There's no light left in this building. Everything is pitch black. We can't see what's going on. Oh my God, what? Lights come back on. It's the Young Bucks. They got Swerve for the BTE trigger. They connect. Boom. Meet in the middle. BTE trigger. Swerve is dead. Moxley crawls over. All of a sudden, there's a referee. 1, 2, 3. The Bucks jump out of the ring. They jump into the crowd. Moxley is still AEW champion. Moxley and Marina are in the ring. Hangman's staring. He doesn't know what just happened. You know, the Bucks are in the crowd. They're looking all mean mugging. And it's like, what the fuck did we just see? They helped Mox? Because if you remember, the last time we saw the Young Bucks, they left because of Mox. Bullshit was going down with the Death Riders attacking and beating up everybody backstage. We saw them shredding papers, loading up stuff in boxes, and saying, yeah, we can work from home, do what we do from home. We don't need to be around here because this shit's getting way too chaotic, and we don't want to be, next in line to get their wrath. We're gone. When they left, they haven't been seen in like 6 months. None of this makes sense. None of this makes any sense. So yesterday I was looking on Instagram, and I see the Young Bucks are posting that they're in a hotel room. And I'm like, whoa. And like Nick Jackson's posting a photo of him sitting in a hotel room. You see his feet, and you see Matt's feet. And they're just chilling in a hotel room. But then Matt, around the same time, posts a photo saying, happy birthday to my wife, and pictures of him and his wife, and this and that. And then I think one of them posted a picture of like the Bellagio in Vegas. And I'm like, oh, are they in Vegas for Dana's birthday? Whatever, I don't think anything else of it. But yesterday, Nick Jackson teased that they were going to be there. If you really think about it, posting that one photo showing them in a hotel room. So, yeah. I don't know what the fuck this is, though. Why did they help why did they help Moxley? Makes no goddamn sense. Hopefully we get full explanation on Wednesday, but I'm not even confident in that because half the time we don't get full. It takes like 3-4 weeks for us to get a full confirmation of what just happened. So we'll see how it all does happen. We'll see how it all does go down. It's freaking 2 a.m. Central Time. We don't have time to do the calls, unfortunately. So we're just going to go to the polls and see what you guys thought of the show. So let's refresh all these polls right here. Let's go here. I mean, I thought the show was okay. Also, afterwards, Swerve talked to the crowd, talked about representation and whatnot, and then ended it with saying, oh yeah, fuck Booker T. As far as the polls do go, looking at the Threads poll here, 59% liked the show. Ooh, that's low. 35% thought it was just all right, and 6% didn't like it. Excuse me. Looking at the X poll, 50% didn't like the show. 26% did like the show, and 23% thought it was just all right. Looking at the YouTube community poll, again, very low numbers here. As far as 53% liked the show, 24% didn't like the show, and 22% thought it was just all right. And as far as the live poll does go, again, real low for the likes here. 60% liked the show, 18% thought it was just all right, and 23% didn't like it. And then we got 2 votes on Twitch. Everybody that voted liked it. So, yeah. Yep. With all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we will be back live tomorrow for Monday Night Raw. Paul Heyman's going to be on the show. They announced that today, along with Seth Rollins, CM Punk. We got tag title match. We got Penta and Dom and some other stuff as well. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But yeah, see you guys live tomorrow after Monday Night Raw. Have a good one, guys.